Ever notice when Caitlin Clark is the victim, she never plays the role of the victim?
Now, the fallout from the WNBA incident involving Caitlin Clark and Alyssa Thomas. Thomas, who was a six-time All-Star for the Mercury, says she has received death threats after she appeared to push her fist into Clark's throat in a recent game.
Ever notice when Caitlin Clark is the victim, she never plays the role of the victim?
Brandon Alley is here with this story. This is getting a lot of attention.
It's getting so much attention. Alyssa Thomas says this was a complete accident. She says she didn't mean to do this, but now she's being painted as a thug, getting death threats. She's sick and tired of the league not doing more to protect its players off the court.
Ever notice when Caitlin Clark is the victim, she never plays the role of the victim?
This morning, WNBA star Alyssa Thomas blasting Commissioner Kathy Engelbert after Alyssa says she received death threats over this incident with Caitlin Clark.
There's a difference between trolling and there's a difference between hatred, and the hatred that we're experiencing over a play that honestly was a complete accident.
Ever notice when Caitlin Clark is the victim, she never plays the role of the victim?
The fist in the throat is crazy. It's crazy. It's dangerous.
Thomas says in the wake of the game, she and her family have been threatened and she's been called racial slurs.
Ever notice when Caitlin Clark is the victim, she never plays the role of the victim?
Criticizing WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert for not doing enough to protect players.
We're so concerned about the safety on the court, but time and time again, we're having people threatening our lives. I'm sick and tired of it, and it's time for them to step up and have our backs.
Ever notice when Caitlin Clark is the victim, she never plays the role of the victim?
The WNBA saying they condemn all forms of hate, saying in a statement, the safety and well-being of everyone in our community is always the league's top priority, adding the league and security team have been in contact with the Phoenix Mercury organization and remain committed to protecting all players.
What's up, Fever Nation? Well, the plot just thickened. Linda Cohn went on a TikTok today and asked some very pertinent and relevant questions about the Alyssa Thomas alleged death threat and slur incident. Take a listen.
Ever notice when Caitlin Clark is the victim, she never plays the role of the victim? She spoke up publicly for the first time since Alyssa Thomas came out publicly and said she's been getting death threats to her and her family, and there has been racial slurs thrown at her. What I want to know, Alyssa Thomas, have you reported this to the police? Have you reported this to the FBI? What I want to know, Alyssa Thomas, have you reported this to the police? Have you reported this to the FBI? Because they'll get on it and they'll find who's responsible. Because they'll get on it and they'll find who's responsible. But back to Caitlin Clark. She always takes the high road in these situations. She did it back in the day with Angel Reese. All these controversies. I love what Caitlin Clark said. I do love that she took the high road here, saying this cannot happen to any player in the league, no matter what the situation is, players, coaches, whatever. But she also took the time, which I loved, to basically told the league to be better communicating. She also mentioned the officiating very subtly. I'm going to say it with an exclamation point. The bad officiating in the WNBA has led to most of this minutia. Yeah. Most of this controversy, all of these controversies. Be better officials. The bad officiating in the WNBA has led to most of this minutia. Yeah, most of this controversy, all of these controversies. Be better officials. Is there an agenda here that I don't know about? Is there an agenda here that I don't know about? Speaking of agendas, congratulations to Caitlin Clark. 3 straight years named and voted an All-Star Game starter. That's the great news. Second most votes by the fans for Caitlin Clark. The media, third most votes for Caitlin Clark by members of the media. What about other players in the WNBA? How do they feel about Caitlin Clark and how she is as a guard? Well, they ranked her 11th best among guards. Her numbers and all the other votes got her in as a starter despite that stupidity. Her numbers and all the other votes got her in as a starter despite that stupidity by many WNBA players who had a vote. By many WNBA players who had a vote. Unbelievable. Use your brains. Caitlin is putting up over 21 points a game so far this year, over 8 assists a game. Not many players rank in the top 5 with those kind of numbers. Offensive production and playmaking ability. That's what Caitlin Clark is. Why do WNBA players continue to bite the hand that feeds them? Why do WNBA players continue to bite the hand that feeds them?
Well, what say you, Fever Nation? I think those are some very important questions that deserve answers. Remember when the Angel Reese incident took place in the beginning of the 2025 season in Gainbridge? The alleged racial slur. We are always dealing with slurs in the WNBA, dealing with these women. We are always dealing with this. This isn't the first time they will throw this claim out. But remember how the WNBPA responded, and then the WNBA responded before any investigation. Before any investigation, they released these statements. We all know what they said. We don't need to go over them. My concern was this was done before an investigation took place. Why don't they investigate before they go making claims about what they support and what they believe in and who they say they're going to protect? They talk about no space for hate. They talk about protecting all players. I have to ask rhetorically, WNBA, Kathy Engelbert, are you protecting all players? Are you making a conscious effort to protect all players? You say all players when it's politically expedient, like in interviews and in this coverage of this Alyssa Thomas incident. But are you really protecting all players? Are you making a conscious effort in not only on the floor, but in your policies to protect all players? Because it appears to me that one player is not being protected, and some players are not being protected in this league like other players. And it has to stop. But I think Linda Cohn raised a very, very interesting issue here. Why hasn't this been reported? Of all of the allegations that have been thrown around, why hasn't this been taken to the police and to the FBI? I think she asked some very, very legitimate questions. Because to date, you all correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it has ever happened. There only been claims of these incidents taking place. No one has publicly, or we haven't seen any statements from the police or the FBI that something has been reported. Yes, something has been reported. Now, playing devil's advocate, I'm going to say the reason why they haven't done it because there is a law against submitting false reports. Could that be the reason why they haven't done it? Is that a possibility? Because if it is happening at the clip and at the rate that they vehemently report in these interviews, then why haven't the reports been submitted and filed and is on record with the police and the FBI if it's happening at such a rate in the WNBA as these players claim? Like, comment, subscribe, and share. You all have a blessed day. I'm out.